Hello everyone, let us start with the discussion about pediatrics. Let us begin with the spelling of pediatrics. There are two different spellings of pediatrics. One is Paediatrics, pediatrics, and the other spelling is Pediatrics, pediatrics. Now, which one of these is correct? Actually, both these spellings are correct. This PAE spelling is used in UK. This PED, pediatrics, spelling is used in USA. Now, this word called pediatrics, it has its origin from the Greek word. And the Greek word is pedo pace plus etros. This pedopace and etros, what does this mean? Pedopace means child healer. Pedopace means a child and etros means a healer. That means pediatrics is a branch of medicine that deals with the care of child and adolescent. And the doctors, those are dealing with this department of children and adolescent, are actually known as pediatricians. And these pediatricians, that is PAEDIATRICIANS, pediatricians. These pediatricians cover the children under the age group of 18 years, like up to 18 years of age. And actually, this makes 30% of population. So it's a big number of the population that pediatricians are dealing with. Now, let us understand that why the subject or the department called pediatrics, why is it necessary? So, their goal of the pediatrician is actually to enable a child to survive, to remain healthy, and to attain the highest possible potential of growth, development, and cognitive achievement, and to make sure that both the boy and girl child both are nurtured with love, generosity, and benevolence equality. So the goal of a pediatrician is to enable a child to survive, remain healthy, and attain the highest possible potential of growth, development, and cognitive achievement. Now, we have to understand one thing, and that one thing is that as this department of pediatrics is different, why was a medicine department required for pediatrics, for children and adolescents, and why there was requirement of medicine for adults? We have to understand one thing, that child is not a miniature. Child is not a miniature adult. Miniature adult. Okay. Child is not a miniature adult. And being said that child is not a miniature adult, we have to understand one thing, that child or a pediatric group have certain different aspects. And what are the aspects that they differ from an adult body? First is their biology. A child's biology is different. The risk factor with which they come to the clinic is different. The clinical presentation of the child is different from the adults. The clinical features with which they appear to a doctor is different. They have certain different and unique disorders that are only found in pediatric age groups. So the different or unique pediatric age group disorder. Then they have some specific drug dosage systems. Their drug dosaging is different. So these are the things that makes them unique. And what other things that make them unique is we have to include is nutrition. A child nutrition is different. Child psychology is different. And a child's mental health is different than adult. So these are basically the domains in which a child differs from an adult. So being said that, child is not a miniature adult. Child is totally different than an adult, and hence the requirement of a pediatrician, and hence the requirement of the Department of Pediatrics. Now we have to understand one thing, that as these children that are 30% of the population, that are consisting 30% of the population of our of the total population, there are certain concerns regarding them. And what are the concerns? There are concerns that in India, you know what is how many babies are actually born in India? We have 2.5 crore babies taking birth. And you know what is this? This is the highest number of child birth in the world. Highest number of childbirth in world. So now there are so many babies being born in our country. So there are mortality rate is also a high. So what in India, when we see that that the child mortality rate is also high. Now we have to know that under 5 mortality rate, under 5 mortality in world is 50 lakh. And do you know how many of that take place in India? Out of this 50 lakh mortality of under 5, 8 lakh of children under 5 of their age die in India. How many? 8 lakh. So it's a big number. Again, it's a big number. 8 lakh of the population is of the under 5 mortality is happening in our own country. And you know the majority of the death that occur is at what age? In under 5, the majority of the death occur in early neonatal period. And that too, when being said that in neonatal period, that is less than 28 days of life, 63% of them are dying. That means out of 8 lakh, 63% of death is happening in the neonatal period, that is less than 28 days of life. So now our concern is, why is this happening? Why is this so many death happening, and why in the neonatal period? So there are why. So there are seven causes. Seven causes that are basically responsible for the death. Now, first is prematurity, then neonatal infection, birth asphyxia, pneumonia, diarrhea, congenital anomalies, and injuries. First is prematurity. Second is neonatal infection. Third is birth asphyxia. Fourth is pneumonia. So prematurity, how much? 27% of the children. Neonatal infection, 13% of the infection. Birth asphyxia and pneumonia, both are giving 11% each. These are the four causes. Now the remaining causes are, let us see the remaining causes. The remaining causes are diarrhea, congenital anomalies, and these both are 9% each. And the last is injuries. That makes 3%. So now we have to understand that these under 5 mortality rate that is taking place in the world is 50 lakh, out of which 8 lakh of the children are dying in India. That is under 5 of the age. Now these 8 lakh are actually, the majority of them are dying at the neonatal period, that is less than 28 days of life. That makes 63% of the death. Now what are the causes that because of which the children in our country are dying? There are 7 causes that has been listed. One is prematurity, that is 27%, neonatal infection, that is 13%, birth asphyxia and pneumonia, that is 11% each, diarrhea and congenital anomalies, that are 9% each, and injuries 3% each. 3%. Okay. Now what are the determinants? Why are these deaths happening? There are many deaths happening, and the reason behind these deaths is actually poverty, illiteracy, low caste, rural habitat, harmful cultural practices. These are the determinants. But we have to understand that beyond this, 45% of children are dying because of undernutrition. So, undernutrition is actually the biggest intermediate risk factor that is responsible for the death of the children. Now what are we doing, or what as a nation we are doing together to combat this problem that we are going through? Our country has been very generous, and it has launched certain programs, have made investments, and has increased the manpower to fight this battle. And what are the programs that we are having in our country? One is HBNC, another is FBNC. HBNC, another is FBNC. Then one is IMNCI. Then there is UIP, and then there is HBYC, and then there is RBSK. There, and what are the other things that our government is doing? Our government is making investments. And what are the investments that our government is making into? Our government has launched free immunization programs. And there are 12 vaccines in India that we are getting free in the government setups. And the vaccines are like DPT, polio, MR, BCG, hepatitis, etc. There are free medications in the government setups. There are free supplements. Free supplements. These are being given in the government setups. There are PHC infrastructures. There are sanitation. Government has also stabilized patient welfare committees. And there are in India we also get emergency transport networks, so that is launched by the government. Now we also have to understand that what is something more that government is doing. Government has increased manpower to combat this. And how government has increased manpower? Government has increased manpower in the form of ASHA, Anganwadi worker, ANM, and CHO. So this is what India has been doing. So now let us again understand that, revise it. And revising it being said, that let us revise what we have read now. That pediatrics, there are two spellings of pediatrics. One is the UK version, another is USA version. It has come from the Greek word pedopais, and etros. Pedopais means a child and etros means a healer. So pediatricians are basically the child healers that they deal and up to the age of 18 years of age, which makes 30% of the population. And the goal of a pediatrician is to enable the child to survive and to remain healthy and to attain the highest possible potential of growth, development, and cognitive achievement. And to make sure that both the boy and the girl child both are nurtured with love, generosity, and benevolence, equality. Further, we have to understand that child is not a miniature adult. Child has certain different domains, different aspects than an adult. And how do a child differs from an adult is in biology, in risk factors, in clinical features, in disorders that are unique to the children, in drug dosaging, in nutrition, psychology, and mental health. Now, India has actually 2.5 crores of babies are born in India. When we see that, it is the highest number of childbirth in the world. Now, under 5 mortality in the world is 50 lakhs, out of which 8 lakh of under 5 mortality is happening in India. Being said that, these under 5 mortality, that is 8 lakh, that is taking place in our country, highest death is at the neonatal period. That is 63% of the death. 63% of the death of under 5 mortality. That is less than 28 days of life. Why? What are the causes of that? The causes of that are, there are 7 causes that are mentioned: prematurity, neonatal infection, birth asphyxia, pneumonia, diarrhea, congenital anomaly, and injuries. There are different determinants because of this deaths are happening. The first is poverty, then illiteracy, low caste, rural habitat, and harmful cultural practices. But we also have to understand that undernutrition is an underlying immediate risk factor for death in under 5 children. And actually, this undernutrition contributes to 45% of the deaths that are taking place. So, as this is our concern, these deaths are our concern. What are we as a nation doing to combat this? India has launched certain programs and made certain investments and also increase the manpower to deal with this. So, yes, for today, this is it. And I just want to bring into your notice that my reference today has been from, I have taken it from 10th edition of Ghai, Essential Pediatrics book, chapter 1, Introduction to Pediatrics. So if anybody wants the reference, go through the chapter 1 of 10th edition of Ghai, and Essential Pediatrics, and you will find everything that I have said. And when you read it, it will be more understanding, and you will be like able to understand the topic more clearly. So thank you for today, and work hard, study well.